This is Tim Lanane, State Senator for District 25, speaking from the State House, and I've just come from the State of the State address, the last State of the State address by Governor Mitch Daniels that he will give as his tenure is coming to an end. And I listened very carefully to what the governor had to say, and he said some things which I agree with. I was glad to hear him talk about some initiatives which I think will be good for the state of Indiana, including he talked about his bicentennial initiative, which is an initiative to preserve the environment and natural resources throughout the state of Indiana. I think that's a good thing. I don't really believe I've heard the governor focus in on the environment or natural resources before, so better late than never in that regards, and I agree with him in that particular initiative. I agreed with him in terms of his discussions about limiting the credit creep, as it's called, and trying to keep tuition affordable for Indiana families. That's something I've long been concerned about. I was glad to hear him say that finally all cities throughout the state of Indiana now meet the federal air quality requirements. I believe that is the first time we've been able to do that, and so I do applaud that achievement. I was surprised, however, there were some matters that I think the governor should have spent more time focusing in on. He wanted to portray the state of Indiana as a virtual paradise when it comes to economic development. But certainly in my district, in the Muncie-Anderson area, we still suffer from job losses, from the loss of manufacturing jobs. In fact, I believe over 150,000 such jobs have been lost underneath the governor's tenure. So we have a ways to go in that regards. The governor also talked about income growth, and I was very surprised to hear that because we know that the statistics in the state of Indiana are that under his watch, Indiana has actually gone down in terms of per capita income in the state of Indiana. We never were that great. We were 34th in the state, 34th worst when it comes to per capita income. That is the income per person in the state of Indiana. Unfortunately, it has gone down in the last 7 years, and we are now the 41st worst state when it comes to per capita income. So we need to work on that. And finally, I have to say I was very disappointed that the governor spoke about this hallmark legislation that he is pushing for right to work, the so-called right to work, which I call right to work for less. And the problem I have with it is it's unfortunate, I think, that the governor ends his tenure on a fairly negative note. The right to work legislation is divisive, it's dubious, it does not really create any jobs. In fact, if anything, it creates lower wages, less benefits for the workers of the state of Indiana, and it divides us as a state. It does not unite us. And so I am disappointed that the governor would choose to end basically his remarks in the State of the State in that regards. I would hope that instead we would come together, focus on how we can really truly create jobs for the state of Indiana, raise the standard of living and income for the people throughout all of the state of Indiana, and that's what I intend to do, working with my colleagues here at the Indiana General Assembly. Thank you very much.